I have all my dry ingredients together. I'm just gonna whisk it around. You can see my colorant in there. You're gonna see it more once I start mixing in the liquid ingredients. Just trying to, so I sifted everything through. And if I sound funny, it's because I have a mask on, because this can be quite airborne. So I'm going to put my liquid ingredients in now. And this is a special order, and they requested a holiday scent to this. So that's what I have here. And I'm going to get to mixing this up. My ingredients in really well. This one is scented in Sugar Plum Fairy. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's a light pink color. So this will color the water just ever so slightly. It's not going to be a dark color. So there's no risk of it staining or leaving a ring of color in the bathtub. These is going to be 12 mini bath bombs. This is a custom order, like I said. This is available on my Etsy store. It takes about a week, so time is running a little short for custom orders right now. The cold process, I can't process any custom orders unless you want it after Christmas, because it's 4 to 6 weeks curing time. Melt and pour, I can definitely do custom orders still, and bath bombs. Anything, any body butters or anything like that, I can still do custom orders on. But as far as cold process, pretty much what you see on the website, unless you want to wait till after Christmas, is what I have available right now. So I have all this mixed up. And I have my spritz bottle here of, oh, this smells so good, of witch hazel. And I'm just going to start spritzing. And see, the color gets a little darker. Have trouble with it foaming too much, so that's why I'm not like others who just spritz it all one time in on top and they're able to mix it in and it be fine. Not me. As hard as I tried that method, it doesn't work for me. So what I do is just spritz some and then put some of the dry on top of it, and then I go in, and I probably did about 4 or 5 spritz just now. And I'm going to test it and see if it holds together. I can already tell it's not holding together. It's still too dry. See? It's not holding together. So I'm going to spritz it a couple more times. Try not to overdo it because you do not want to activate the actual bomb. You just want to have it hold together. So that was about 3 spritz. And I'm going to do probably about 3 more and see how that goes. You want to be very careful in this step here because you don't want to overdo it, because if you start activating it, it's kind of hard to stop that process. You really have to get it into the mill really quickly, and then it starts bubbling up on you and just a big old mess. So try to avoid that as much as possible. See, it got a little bit darker than it was earlier, and I'm going to squeeze it together. Not quite yet. I want to be able to drop it and have it stay together and be able to pick it up again. So that was another 4 or 5 squirts, and I can already feel through my glove that it's pretty good to go. I'm just going to make sure you want to scoop it up from underneath. Scoop under it because that touching the bowl 9 times out of 10 is still dry. So make sure you scoop it up all the way and get that bottom moistened as well. So let's see. Pick that up and it's still held together. That's what I want to see. That's the way I know it's gonna stick together. I mean, it's gonna be these are mini cupcakes, so it's not really that necessary for it to hold together because it's in a mold. But if I was doing just bombs, just the bowls, then that's where that's really important. But right now I'm doing these mini cupcakes here, the mini ones, and this is a custom order of 12. And I'm just gonna pack them in really tightly. I always try to do a little point in the center, if you can see what I'm doing, just so the topping has something to grab onto. And I'm leaving a little lip around the side. So again, just so that topping has something to grab onto, because if not, it can just come right off. Doesn't really stick to the base. It more sticks to the cup itself and the sides. Unless you have something like cocoa butter in it or something like that, which I don't, then it can be problematic. It can actually just come right off. So that's what I do. And we're just going to go around and fill up these 12 cups. And this is going to dry for 24 to 48 hours at least. I like to go at least sometimes, but especially with the bigger bombs, 3 days on it. But these are a mini, so it's less drying time because it's less product in the cup. And I want to let them dry a couple of days before I actually put the tops on it. Okay, so here are my 12 Sugar Plum Fairy mini cupcake bath bomb bases. I will let them dry for 2 days at least, and then I will put the topping on them and let the topping dry for a couple of days, and then package them up for shipping for delivery to the customer. Like I said, this is a custom order. I can, at this point, still do custom orders on bath bombs, whether it be the mini ones or the full-size ones. But any cold process soaps, what I have on Etsy right now is all that I have in stock, unless you want to wait to after Christmas. And any body butters, we do to order, so whenever you order them, that's when we make them. And what else? I think that's about it. Candles, same thing, made to order, unless it's the very popular ones, and then I have them in stock somewhat. So that's it for now. I'll come back when I'm ready to put the frosting topping on these. Now that my bases are completely dry, they are nice and hard and firm. All of them are dry completely. As you can see, that's nice and firm. I'm actually squeezing it. Nice and firm, nice and dry. So I'm going to get the tops mixed up, and we're going to get the tops put on them. Tips I can give for you for making the frosting tops for the bath bombs is to measure your ingredients first before you sift them, because once you sift them, they got all the air and stuff in them, and then your weights or your measurements could be off. So weigh them out first and then sift them together. All my ingredients measured out, all my dry ingredients measured out, and I'm ready to sift them all together and just whisk them so I make sure they're well blended together and there's not clumps of different things in the same area, so they all blend together. So I'm going to sift everything now that I've got everything measured out, and we're going to add our wet ingredients. Ingredients are ready to go. Usually I do this in the stand mixer, but because I'm only doing one batch and it's a mini, I'm going to just do it by hand. So all the dry ingredients are here, and I'm going to put my water in. And this step you want to be very sparing with it, because you can take it out. You can always add more, but you can't take it out. So I'm going to start off with doing it by hand. I might get out the hand mixer, which I think I will, because I really don't want to go into this with doing this by hand. So I'm going to break out the hand mixer and get this put together. Have my top thoroughly mixed. I'm going to separate it into two parts because I'm doing two different colors on this. One is going to be white, the other one's going to be pink. Separated my top out into two different containers, and this one has the colorant in it, so I'm going to get that mixed up. This is going to be the pink part. You can see that. Going to get this well incorporated. It's going to be a very pale pink, and it is scented. The tops, I do scent them lightly. So they are scented. This one is Sugar Plum Fairy. So I'm just going to get this all mixed up I'm going to get it into the piping bag and get to piping. So this is going to be a 2-color top of pink and white. I have my piping in its bags. Here is the white, and I'm going to lay down my first color, pipe on my first color, which is pink. Just going to go around. I'm going to do a little dollop. See how that folds over? You don't want to do a stiff. It's not going to give you a stiff peak because it's very loose. I wanted it kind of on the loose side because I have more, one, I have more time to work with it. And 2, I don't want to be stressing on my bag. And I know it's going to harden because I put that extra in there. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. And I'm putting a little loop in on the top just so I can get the white on. So just so the white has something to adhere to. See how it's going a little flatter? Let me show you what I'm going to do with the white. I'm just going to, because this is so fluid, I'm not trying to make a tall. If you're trying to make a tall peak on these things or have a lot stand up, then you want to make your topping, your frosting a little stiffer than what I've done. So basically, oh, I'm going to go back in and do that. That's all I want. That's it. And I don't want a stiff peak on it. And with my glitter and just a little sprinkling of glitter on it. You can barely notice it. And finish the rest of them. Take number 2. The frosting was a little too loose, too fluid, and it was actually spreading a lot more than I wanted it to. So I took it off, and the white I just left sitting, and the pink I actually added some more cream of tartar to harden it up. So I'm on to piping once again, and as you can see, it's a lot stiffer than it previously was, and that's more along the lines where I need it to be to hold its shape, because it really wasn't before. It was actually spreading a lot more than I actually wanted it to. And I realized that I didn't have enough pink. I had divided it almost equally, and actually there's more pink than it is white on these, so I had to put some more white into the pink to cover this all. And hopefully I did it right this time. Yep, I should have enough to cover. Go in with the white that is sitting here, and it should be quite hard. And as you can see, it's not spreading as much as it was before.